Hello and welcome back to our second round back nine coverage from the 2024 Waco Annual Charity Open. We're out at the brand new Lake Waco property. And you're watching JomezPro with Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, and Paul Ulibarri.
Yeah, we had some good golf on the front nine, but we also have a delay separating the 9 holes that we saw earlier and the restart that these guys have. It's going to mean that they're going to be pushing that daylight coming down the stretch. It's a little bit late for them, and we haven't quite hit daylight savings time. So sunset is between 6 and 7 o'clock.
Yeah, there was a delay at around 8 in the morning for the FPO, which pushed all tee times about 40 minutes back.
Yep.
The lead card at the time of this delay is lagging about 3.5 holes behind the chase card.
Okay.
So their hope is almost non-existent, I would say, of finishing this round today.
Well, we've got a par 5 before. We'll just get to the Patreon winner for our practice round, and it is Teresa Gomez. So if you guys watch our practice rounds, we are going to be giving away a signed disc that will be used in the practice rounds by all the participants in our practice rounds for the remainder of the season. Congratulations to Teresa Gomez. 1,045-foot par 5. Uphill, there's really one tree to miss off the tee, but we're going to check in real quick with Gannon Burr. That's what he does.
Great putt.
So here's one of the tricky things about the course. Not a lot of power to be had when you're just twinkle toeing on the edge of the tee pad. He makes good, though. This is the play. Make sure you don't go too far because there is that golf green. So it's about 400 feet to that golf green, a little bit uphill.
I imagine AB will try to clear the tree on the right side of the fairway. Oh, he's just going to go Annie over everything.
I think he's trying to go for the
Pin?
Okay.
the eagle.
Oh,
Yeah, I bet. Right? That makes sense.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
that is a
terrible.
horrible reaction.
Well, it's just horrible for us because we don't get to see him go after the hole.
There's the shot we were expecting over the trees on the right side.
Some really good footwork from James, but he's used to that. We've talked to him about that in the past. Everyone likes to come to him and ask him, like, what do you think about tee pads when they're not perfectly flat? It doesn't bother him so much because he always does a big run up and he's used to jumping up on the tee boxes.
And I'm going to say this just as kind of a PSA for everybody out there that might be lucky enough to run into James Conrad. He's over it being asked about the tee pads.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's not laughing with us anymore.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
I am never going to talk to him about a tee pad again.
Me neither.
Oh, that's so funny.
I did the bad thing of asking him.
Yeah.
And he looked angry at me.
As angry as he can look.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, when you guys asked him, I had just asked him the question and you guys were in the golf cart and you guys just strolled up
Well,
It's
20
your
seconds
fault.
after I asked him.
Look, joke's over. We're just done. We're done with that one. It was a good run and it's over. That's a little bit burned over from Niklas. This hole very manageable distance-wise, though. When you consider
Yes.
we're playing 800-foot par 4s, 1,045 as a par 5 is a much shorter hole, effectively, in terms of the shot power you're going to need to get the job done.
What's AB going to have to do here with this really tricky line? Look at how weird of a second shot that is.
Get to the earth.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty normal spot for a good 2 shots to land.
Absolutely.
So after the delay, they come back and it got a little more windy.
Yeah,
A lot more. It was a really big change in the weather.
Big change, yes.
Great shot for Gregg.
Yeah, you can see those flags are not laying down at all.
Niklas tries to go with a low turnover, and he has achieved great success.
Mm. You know how Finland has all those like little kiddie courses all over the place?
Yeah.
Imagine how many 18 unders that he has on those.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's just sliding it up.
Yeah, probably getting to 19 under pretty often,
Yeah.
actually.
That was a lot to be desired there for AB. Going to be outside the circle.
Hard to throw that big high knife hyzer sometimes with that crosswind. Maybe just didn't get the drag across that he was expecting.
See if he can continue the good putting that he had in round 1, and right there, that was hearted. Wasn't his best putting performance in the front 9?
You know, those are the ones that are the Band-Aids that keep your round together. Those little 30-footers where you let a couple leak, and all of a sudden you miss that one. It's the easiest hole in the course for him, especially, probably.
Yeah.
Good putt there.
Barsby just squeaks that over the rim.
Things can start to unravel when you do things like that. And when you're able to kind of step up in those moments, can connect you to that next run of birdies potentially.
Yes. Which can definitely happen right here going into 11. Oh, look at this here. Let's watch it. Right above the rim. Great little catch. 15 under, 16, 16. That's right there on pace. Kyle Klein, though, pulling ahead at 17 under par. Here's that little tricky one to string that one together, like you said, Nate. Par 3, 265, low ceiling the whole way. You're going to want to take whatever you want, throw it into the hill, slide her up. Really, the trouble is this low ceiling, not getting caught up there, and then not getting caught behind one of those little guardian trees can make putting a little bit difficult.
This is a unique little change to the course, and there's nothing else like this afterwards. It's just nice little sprinkled in the middle. Take a look at Kyle Klein. He's one of these guys, I think we're going to be seeing him for the rest of the season. Like the way we were talking about James Proctor last year, how James Proctor's on lead card again. Not that it would be a surprise, he's a major champion, but something about the way Kyle Klein has started the season off, I really like him to have an incredible season here in 2024.
And it's easy to forget how young some of these guys are. I was playing on that card. All of them were either 20 or 21. You know, and they're household names. It's Ezra and Joey's not quite there yet, but he's well on his way.
Yeah, he's on his way for sure.
There's still a lot of growth to be done in their games, you know, and he's already a major champion. So yeah, absolutely would not be surprised to see him leading basically any tournament we have.
Oh, look at the ground play for AB in his favor. That looked like that was going to be skipping well long. Just never got perfectly flat, and that crosswind was trying to push the disc way deep.
Yeah, that was going 70 feet.
Yeah, that was gone. Barsby turns his drive over. He's going to be outside C2. Now James up, and
whoa,
still could work into the circle.
Yeah.
I don't think it quite made it.
The tricky thing is with the right to left wind, if you throw hyzer, it could lift. I like this play. The ante out of the hand with stability.
Oh, and he misses the AB trees.
A little more anhyzer and it will slide into that hill instead of the hyzer skip. Yeah, he's not even close. My bad. Hand up.
So easy to go long on this hole if you get...
Oh,
come on, Niklas.
That was incredible.
He's like, yeah.
Well, at least, okay, there's a smile at least. Okay.
Look at how soft. This is a little Gregg Barsby-esque, isn't it?
That was beautiful.
Yeah. And that's to get 20 under on his local 18-holer.
Ooh.
That's a tough crosswind to get that putt down.
I do worry with that style of putt. Once you have that beautiful tailwind, those are the ones you got to capitalize. And then when you get onto this side, it's tough. He makes good, but that's an extra tough putt for the putting style that he typically putts with. He is known to switch it to a spin putt once in a while, but he's like one of those fill players.
Yeah.
AB collecting the birdie. We'll move him up into a tie at 16 under. Now 2 back of the pace set by Kyle.
Looking at hole 12, par 4, 815 feet down to an island green. You'd like to play a big righty backhand here over this dry dirt area and up to the left into the green grass. And then you're going downhill underneath this big live oak to this basket. You got OB. It's a pretty generous island, but certainly could get away from you.
This is a live oak?
I think
I'm just so used to seeing them covered in Spanish moss on the coast of the southeast.
I think it is, but I don't know for sure. I'll say that.
Ricky Wysocki.
Going sidearm off the tee. I thought that was going into the eye.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where that. Okay, so off the
he's
tee
throwing a
sidearm.
forehand off the tee.
That is interesting
I never
play.
even thought about that.
Well, I think you should. Because
Maybe tomorrow.
He's got the sidearm play here.
Look
Go
at
in.
that.
Ricky Wysocki had a very interesting start to the day where he showed up 4.5 minutes before his tee time. And the new rules, you have to be at your tee 5 minutes ahead of your tee. And he was stroked 2 strokes. And then he just started off, I think, birdieing the first 6 holes.
Wow. And now we're back in time. This is a chase card check-in. This was our first shot out of that delay.
Oh,
And
okay.
all but one of our minis were stolen during the delay. So we had to approximate our lies. I'm hoping it was just somebody trying to help out that didn't know what was going on. But with that big tailwind, I was able to come out and practice this shot, side on Firebird.
Oh, wow.
And almost caught a little fancy.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, tell me your wedding mini wasn't stolen. It
was.
Oh, no.
I have more, but it was.
That is...
I say stolen. It got windy, but one of our minis was metal, and a disc sitting on the ground is not much of a sale. I don't believe they blew away.
I really hope somebody, if they did take it out of good faith, I hope that they do the right thing.
Look at this little hop up.
Wow. This is a wedding mini.
This is just launched into the fairway, perfectly placed.
Yeah, not much left from there, I would think. Probably 300 tops.
This is what you'll typically see. Heavy on the hyzer. It's going to be... how far are you thinking in from there?
350.
380 maybe.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Potentially, with the downhill playing a little less, but it could be 380.
Now this, though, Barsby's got the good sidearm, but this is going to be well off pace. He's going to have to go backhand in there maybe.
It's a good tailwind. Probably one of the last times you're going to get to say that this round. This is really low.
And that is a huge price to pay. I mean, he's trying to cut off a lot of distance to the pin, but now he's actually just turned this into an instant bogey at best situation.
That's the thing. You really want to hug that right side and barely cover like everybody really did.
Sure.
Especially being like James Conrad, not having the sidearm coming in.
Little flex out of the hand for Gregg. Is that going to be enough to get all the way to the pin? Almost.
Yeah.
30 feet short.
Yeah, really almost pushed it long. Big shot.
Yeah, I think Niklas is in that 340 to 360 range. It's going to be coming up short and right. And I am wrong.
Bullseye.
What kind of reaction off the ground was that?
I think he just has that sneaky distance. Like I picture him as not throwing it like, AB distance or something, which is 100% correct. But then you look and see, that is a bad mistake. You look to see where AB is and he's only 50 feet in front of him.
Yeah.
Not even 50, pardon me, like 15 feet.
Yeah, the mid-range just goes too straight for Anthony.
Oh, my gosh.
Man. And James has too much heat as well. I think that tailwind can be blamed going down the hill.
Yeah, they're looking to see, but you can see line pretty clear on this side of the disc. So AB will be out of bounds putting for par. James out of bounds putting for a double bogey.
And not an easy putt for James. Wow.
Great stick.
Good
Double
putt, though.
bogey, yeah.
It's always nice when Gregg's in the mix and got the Barsbarians out there cheering. He has a great fan base, great personality. Double for James and a birdie for Niklas and Barsby. AB will have to settle for the bogey. Over 51% of the field taking the birdie here on 12, though, which is kind of surprising considering all the trouble that you can see James and Anthony get into there.
Well, only 2 cards played that shot in the heavy wind, so
That's correct. That's
it
correct.
helps those stats a bit, I think.
Introducing Fractal Line Discs from Prodigy. Fractal is the new visual treatment joining spectrum, glimmer, and glow, flashing colors in a complex motif. It's calming, chaotic, and completely one of a kind. Learn more at prodigydisc.com.
Hole 13, par 4, 608 out of a very tight gap to start with OB on both sides all the way down the fairway. You'd like to just take your most accurate shot, try to bite off 300 to 350 down the middle, and then figure it out from there. There's low backhand hyzer available, a little bit higher forehand potentially, some good little guardian trees here at the end, and then of course the elevated basket waiting for you. In these windy conditions can be a little bit tricky.
Objective number 1 complete.
That's tough, though, over there. I don't know what he's going to have into the hole.
Seems like there's just a bunch of like low flex lines, but none of them are really that great.
I'm very surprised that Gregg doesn't go 2-piece right down the middle.
For those who don't know what you're talking about, that is a
People,
2-finger sidearm.
No. Don't do me like that.
We also call it a horizontal tomahawk if you're down with the lingo.
No.
Wow. Through the gap and then
man.
another 100.
What a gap hit. Just super confident. Nose angle, great.
Here's James with the 5-piece.
I think 4-piece makes more sense.
Yeah.
If that's a 2-piece.
Yeah.
Then that's a 4.
Oh my goodness.
You're right.
And there is an attempt at the low flex line, but the nose angle is so hard to really commit and execute at the same time.
Maybe fan grip's a 3-piece, I think.
Yeah. Thumbers are 1-piece.
These are ridiculous, man.
Oh, just a little too high for James.
James gets it up.
He had a good gap, though. That window is certainly fair.
Gregg is in perfect position for what he wants on this hole, I think, which is just to throw the side. I think he needs to go wider than that, but he's going to get away with it.
Yeah.
Helpful tree, potentially.
It's hard to go wider because you got that big hill and then the low ceiling with the tree. It makes a very small window on that left side, but I do think that is what he wants to do as you're seeing AB fight that window right there. And even though he hits a branch, he still fights through to just outside the bullseye. It's going to be 15 feet away for the birdie.
Oh, no.
You can see the wind working on that shot. Difficult, but he does get a high spin rate. Get all the way there without too much turnover.
See if Niklas can get another little magical. Nope. Just a low up shot. Kind of hard to tell with those camera angles how close he really was.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know. I think you're just running it from back there with the elevated basket and the heavy wind. Just not a winning strategy. I think he's probably pretty happy to lay up.
Barsby liked the idea of aiming high left, figuring on the head left to right crosswind to push it towards the center. Just didn't quite get the reaction. And AB had to see that one into the chains, but it stays, and there's a birdie.
I would guess right about now is sunset for these guys. We're getting to be about 6:30. The announcement has come through to them that play would be suspended at 6:55.
Okay, so what are you thinking at that point? You're just trying your best to you know that you're not going to finish the round.
Yes.
And that's a frustrating thing. The last thing you want to do, knowing that you have a full round of play the next day, is knowing that you have got to get up at 7:30 in the morning, or you have to start playing at 7:30 in the morning.
Yes, you got to be up much earlier.
Kyle Klein is 10 under through 13 holes.
Jeez.
Calm down.
Seriously.
Hole 14, par 3, 375, straight down the shooter here. Missed this low ceiling, and then missed that little stump. I don't know what you do here. It's the lowest flex shot you could possibly think of. Sidearm. I saw you guys do sidearm rollers. I saw other people do rollers. It's not typical to see a roller in this type of wind, but who knows?
Yeah.
I think backhand low flex might be what the doctor
Well,
ordered.
let's let this guy show what you should
Hyzer
do.
flip. Okay.
Throw it about 500 feet and bonk.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like the
man.
hyzer flip, because it flips up too straight, you know.
Oh, the Anthony Barela hole 11 treatment.
I think the roller is completely off the table in
Yeah.
the wind conditions that these guys are playing.
Yeah, hyzer flip play gets the lift.
See, I don't like the lift. I
No,
think
of
the
course not.
Annie out of the hand,
Yeah, navigates that wind in a much more controlled way.
unless maybe a mid-range that gets under and then lifts kind of straight.
I was playing with Aaron Gossage, who threw a Buzz OS pin high, and I thought that was pretty impressive.
Another
That is-
hyzer flip, but this is going to go deep.
Man, deep left outside the circle, but he at least is putting for birdie.
There's just no way to stop that unless you hit the tree.
You weren't kidding, Nate. That thing was going full on 100 feet past.
Yeah.
That thing was still.
Oh no, Gregg hits the little corner thing.
It's a little metal pipe of some sort that's just sticking out of the ground right there. Really unfortunate.
There's the Annie
Yep.
I'm looking for.
Yep, that's the one.
See,
Slow down.
better though.
Really good shot.
Kind of unfortunate to get that far. 2 feet shorter, he hits that hill, probably
Stops it right there.
Yeah, helps him about 15 feet. Great upshot there.
I think also worth reminding everybody, our cameras are better at seeing in the dark than we are. So it's darker even than it appears on this view. So starting to become a bit tricky perhaps when you get under these trees to get a nice accurate read on distances.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you'd almost rather just not play at all, like play this hole anymore. Like let's just come back. I mean, if you're coming back tomorrow morning anyways,
Yeah,
it might not be as windy the next morning, you know?
I guess that they really don't have much of a choice though. It's
Yeah, you just-
6:55. You play.
You got to
till
play
the
until,
horn.
yeah. Maybe the first time ever where bad weather's actually affected the leaders more than it did the rest of the field. I'm only kidding.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
There we go,
James.
James. What a birdie.
Low and left and in.
A little zoomer.
Niklas now 3 back of Kyle, who is 11 through 14 holes. Incredible stuff coming from Kyle Klein right now. This is a heroic round.
Hole 15, par 3, 430. This one has a golf green right in between the players and the basket, elevated basket, and an OB line at the road behind. So it's a pretty narrow little landing zone at 430 feet. Decision time. I think mostly players would go for this for sure, but I think today with the wind, there is a case to be made for playing short of the green.
And looks like they're continuing. Man, it is dark out there. That is a really good looking drive from James. Just didn't quite crest the hill. That was 6 inches higher. I think he gets over the hill almost completely and slides really close to the pin.
Oh boy, that's going to be a tough second. Going to leave himself still high 300s.
Yeah, it's definitely a very awkward ceiling. You want to get it up, but that ceiling keeps you in check. That's a typical shot you'll see. A lot of hyzer to get it underneath this stuff, try to lift into the hyzer flip, but straight tailwind. So you really have to commit to an understable disc. And is this understable
Not enough.
No.
But it's all safe out there once you get over the green. As long as he did get over the green. I think he did.
Oof, that was close.
Maybe he's got some work to do.
Oh no, this is inside, guys.
Needs to get down.
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah, it's not the putt you want for par.
Should have predominantly tailwind from that side. Just running.
What? How do you run that?
He's a madman.
How do you run that?
It's crazy.
That is frisbee head like mania right there. That is somebody who plays a lot of catch. Boring. I love that, Niklas. I love that so much. He'd be off the cage low. It'll be a bogey on 15. This for birdie.
Oh, wow. How does that lift? And is that a headwind?
Headwind,
okay.
yeah.
That flag was tricky.
Oh, that is a
comebacker.
Good par save. I just feel like there's not much scarier than an elevated basket par save from 30 feet in the wind. That's just, I mean, nobody, even 25 feet.
You could add a little OB behind it.
You sure? Add whatever you want. It just makes it, I mean, I'm already frightened.
Yeah,
So
it
scary.
could be snakes too. You got to think could be snakes.
That's true.
But I agree with you. It's close to the top of the charts.
Last cash for the last cash.
Okay, now I'm having a full-on panic attack over here, guys. Take it easy.
All right, so now the guys are gonna go ahead and go back to their hotels, get changed, get sleep, come back here for a 7:30 a.m. start. Just the four of them. The second card was able to finish in basically darkness, and now they're out here in sub 40 degrees, and you might think they got away with one and the wind would be down. No. It lasted through the night. So they're still dealing with significant wind and some very cold temperatures.
And dewy conditions as well. Like these tee pads are going to be possibly slippery as well. James doesn't care.
Wow. That's a great looking line there. Hard hole here.
Yeah. I mean, look how far that's playing. If James is getting to right there, this is playing.
When my group played this hole, it was a par 4. There was no way that anybody was getting up there for any kind of look. And it seems a little bit like that even on this morning restart. Maybe not quite the headwind, but still a significant headwind. And when you're talking about 450 through a gap with OB on the right, almost any headwind at all is going to be enough to scare you off of it.
It's a great shot from Gregg.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, just putting one in play here is really all you need to do. There's only a few players in the field that were getting the birdie here.
Maybe this guy. Oh, not going to flip up at all.
That's the mistake to make. As long as it doesn't roll, yeah. The mistake to make is more left than anything else.
Oh, no.
That's definitely more work than you
Yeah,
want
you
to
don't
have
like that.
left. Looks to be headwind as well.
Oh. He gets away with that one. Think Gregg's laying this one up?
No.
It's always fun.
Wow.
That was
That's
wild.
a nice effort. This is a big time putt for Niklas.
Oh, sit.
AJ Carey, Calvin Lundquist, Grady Shue, Isaac Robinson, Paul McBeth. Only 5 players in the field with the 2 here on hole 16.
Wow.
77% par, though. When you see a number that big, it means something's got to give if you want to make a really good, solid hole, I think. But maybe I
think
don't
it's
know.
just this headwind. I think without the headwind, it's a great hole.
Well,
and that happens a lot.
Most of the field was playing this without this headwind.
Yeah,
though.
I think all those birdies are before the restart.
Correct. This
It's
next
a
one.
tough one.
With that bogey, Niklas drops to 17 and now 4 off the pace set by Kyle Klein, who is still sitting at 11 under through 16. He was 11 under through 14. And we are now looking at probably the most picturesque hole on the course.
I agree. Hole 17, par 3, 395, going downhill. OB line painted pretty high on that grass, so you really have to make sure you get up there over that carry and be careful as well of the ball golf green on the left.
And I said probably. It's not even close. It's one of the more picturesque holes on tour. Another little Nate Sexton check-in here on 17.
This was a miracle drive, and now just ripping headwind putt.
Wow. Yes. I love it. Fantastic.
I was lining that up thinking, well, this might hit me in the face if I miss. Like it might just lift and come right back.
What a birdie. James
Lift.
low underneath the wind. Yes.
Ooh.
Did you go backhand drive, Nate?
I did.
Okay. Thunderbird.
No,
Destroyer.
It was full on Halo
Okay.
Destroyer time. It was so
Okay.
windy. I did a full send.
Well, like the cargoes. What kind of freight you think he's carrying in there?
What kind of freight? I saw a stand-up comic did that recently.
Oh, no.
I think that crossed.
It touched
Yeah,
safe.
but-
It touched safe.
Some comedian stealing my jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
AB,
Oh,
this
no.
is
Long.
I don't think that ever crossed.
No chance. Likely retee.
Very likely. I don't think you're going to want to take the 45 feet that's on a downslope.
I like the way this is looking.
Oh, great skip
Oh,
as
wow.
well.
That's a terrifying putt, though. Great shot, though.
So AB is going to re-tee. It looked to be a bit short.
Pretty good, though, in the circle. Give him a chance to save the bogey.
The first one hit in and came back. Yeah, that's what we thought. And then the second, or this one over here, never crossed.
That's Steve-O
You hit right before these.
down here helping out. Not many spectators I can imagine out here in attendance at 7:30 in the morning, clarifying that Gregg's did indeed hit in bounds and jump out.
This is terrifying. You have to run it for the par. And if you miss at all, it is not going to be an easy second putt. And that's probably a good air ball.
Yeah.
Yeah,
honestly.
I agree.
If you hit the base, I mean, it gets up and rolls down that hill 50% of the time maybe in this kind of wind.
Ooh.
James, a glancing blow off the base. Does not roll. You're fine with a par. Not happy with it, but it's a lot better than the alternative. A lot of people were here leaving with serious wounds. Anthony Barela, one of them.
Kyle Klein as well played the hole in a Barela-like fashion. He had a bad wind drop, did not clear the leader, Kyle Klein, and then came. Oh, Niklas with the birdie look.
Huge opportunity there, especially with what you're telling us right now.
He re-teed. He came up about 30 short. He missed that putt almost exactly the way that Anthony did.
Very common play.
Beautiful putt there from Gregg. Maybe with the bag putt.
And I really do feel for these guys having to come back just to play 3 holes. Super cold, ripping wind. And you don't get to feed off the crowd's energy because no one's out there. And you're the only card in the field having to do that. That is not cool.
And you have to play against Niklas, who's used to the cold, windy.
Unfair advantage.
He's got Mitten, who has mittens.
Luke Humphreys jumping way up the leaderboard. He has a great round.
Tough finishing hole. Hole 18, par 4, 840 through tiny gaps to start. OB golf green here on the left, and another OB golf green on the right. Late low ceiling and a couple little mounds here make the green slightly protected, but mostly it's just the challenge of the 840 feet with an uphill obstructed tee shot.
Sounds doable.
Yeah.
If you're a world champion. Super hyzer.
Yeah, I think the hyzer play is just one to get in bounds, but I don't really think it's much of a birdie play.
There's no birdie play today unless you're AB.
I agree.
I don't think it is a play. I was playing with a pretty big arm on my group, and he got the hyzer and then a really big shot and was about 80 feet. So
Wow. Big jump skip there for Niklas down the hill.
Oh, no.
This could
Oh,
be
no.
messing with out of bounds.
Yeah, it needs to get stable quick.
Don't think so.
It's at the line.
Oh, okay. So we'll create some drama here, whether that's in bounds or not.
If this gets over that stuff.
Oh, just the deflection.
Still a monster.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Dang, dude.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
That is living right.
Oh my gosh.
Just safe by the nose.
Sick. Way to be, disc.
Now what, though?
I'd say something like that.
Just gotta hope it's over all the golf greens, and it appears it is.
Relatively, I can't really say easy pitch because it's such a wide tree in front of the basket that when you have to go low to keep it underneath the wind, it's going to be tricky unless you are way down the fairway after 2.
Did James go through that branch or under?
I couldn't quite tell.
I thought under, but it was a huge shot.
Yeah. Huh. I hope he went under.
This player cam, that's a good perspective of what the hole looks like. It's just so far after the tee shot. Niklas threw a great drive, threw a great second shot, and he's still 80 feet away.
This is way outside.
Oh, that's a great kick.
Bounces back in bounds, I think.
Yeah, that's... That's fortunate. I don't think that was coming back. I don't know, though.
Maybe super overstable,
Yeah.
multiple skips.
It's
I'm
hard
not
to say.
sure. Still some work left for Gregg. This looks maybe too flat.
Just got held up in the wind. Just never had a chance to fight back around. But even if it did start fighting, you can see there that it's a very narrow tunnel that he's got to hit.
Super low.
And he gets the second skip.
Wow. Nice.
Wow.
That was really cool. One flat skip, second skip high over the rent mound in the bullseye for a par.
It's probably the earliest he's been up in 3 years.
Ooh.
That would have been a pretty awesome birdie to finish the round.
So would this, right?
Yes, it would be.
All right, Gregg has a long one to save the par. This would be an all-time save for him, I think.
Yeah.
Straddling the line, hitting a bunch of brush, hitting the trees coming in.
Needs a bunch of height.
Oh, man, just big tailwind. Just dropped it. He loved it out of his hand, I think. Niklas left some putts out there and still managed to turn in a 5-under round. Not too bad.
What an adventure that was. Multiple delays, a whole night of sleep in there, some rain, some wind, some sun, some birdies, some numbers and colors we don't like as much.
That's right.
Wild one.
Niklas does end up staying on the lead card.
5-under is a good round. I mean, I think that we were saying that number in practice. 5-under is good. 10-under is really good from Luke Humphreys, but we got to give a shout out to Ben Callaway, who went even par round 1, 11 under round 2 on the golf course, and that's the hot round of the day.
Here comes that fire emoji.
There's
There he
that.
is.
There it is.
Nicely done by Ben Callaway. So that's going to be Klein, Humphreys, Anttila, and Freeman on our lead card as we go back to the Beast at Brazos East Park for round 3 coverage. We're going to bring that to you ASAP. Come and join us and see how this thing goes.
Yeah, half of the event completed, guys. 2 more of the same thing, Brazos and then Waco. Waco.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the wind's going to kind of get any slower in the next round. It's supposed to speed up and actually flip the opposite way, so the scores could be good. Bye.
Bye. If you're still watching, why are you watching?